Hi there, my name's Josh, and I'm here today with a video on why Pokemon Snap is actually the most important Pokemon game ever made. I promise I'm not on drugs. Right now. Welcome to the world of Pokemon, a video game empire quite unlike any other. While these days it's easy to see Pokemon as just another one of Nintendo's heavy hitters, there was a period during the late 90s and early 2000s where Pokemon was king. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing merchandise and branding all over the place, all a part of the biggest fad that the gaming industry had ever seen. If you owned a Game Boy, you owned at least one of the 3 original Pokemon titles. And if you didn't have a Game Boy, you could still enjoy this iconic world through the magic of other games, trading cards, and, anime. And of all the Pokemon spin-off media though, perhaps the most beloved game is a little Nintendo 64 title called Pokemon Snap. For those of you who don't know, it was a photography simulator in which you take pictures of different Generation 1 Pokemon while riding in a snazzy hovercraft type thing before giving in all your film to Professor Oak. Despite not originally being planned as a Pokemon game, Pokemon Snap has become a kind of cult classic, with fans desperately begging Nintendo to make a sequel for the Wii U or NX or whatever they wind up calling this new thing. So right now, a bunch of you are probably thinking, Josh, it's been like 3 years since you've done a Pokemon video. Why not focus on one of the main games? Why are you doing a spin-off? Well, I'm here today to actually argue that Pokemon Snap is potentially the most important piece in Nintendo's whole pop culture invasion that happened in the late 90s. And through Pokemon Snap, we're going to be examining the fundamental game design of the Pokemon series as a whole. And also, the reason I'm talking about a Nintendo 64 game, I wasn't allowed to own a Game Boy when I was growing up. My parents said that I was addicted to video games and that would make it worse. I mean, they were right, but... Alright, so the original Pokemon games are basically hard drugs to kids. If you look at them from a purely game design point of view, literally every aspect of Pokemon Red and Blue is laser focused on making the perfect portable game. Mechanically, it was all there. A battle system that manages to be an easily explainable rock, paper, scissors type thing that's actually far more complex and strategic than it first appears, a well-written adventure storyline with easily displayable goals such as gym badges for players to brag about with their friends, and perhaps most importantly, the existence of 2 separate versions that encourages both the use of the trading feature and by extension, the franchise's main slogan of "Gotta catch 'em all." However, just because these games had a great foundation doesn't mean kids would automatically be drawn to them. There are tons of awesome game ideas that get ignored all the time, and if Nintendo wanted to truly sell the concept of Pokemon, they were going to need to find a way past the Game Boy's limitations. After all, we were already in the 3D era of home consoles. Why would a kid want to play a black and white 8-bit RPG when titles like Final Fantasy VII were easily available on their television? Nintendo and Game Freak needed to make people care about Pokemon, and that's where Pokemon Snap comes in. The entire point of every single Pokemon spin-off was to do the things that the Game Boy games couldn't. The anime and the trading card game were specifically designed to show what these Pokemon actually looked and sounded like, unlike the 8-bit representations that you'd see in the Game Boy games. And Pokemon Stadium specifically let you take your Pokemon into the Nintendo 64's 3D battles and show you all these fancy battles in 3D. It'd blow your 8-year-old mind. But still, having fancier Pokemon battles was only expanding on the portable game's battle system. In terms of world building, it didn't add all that much, and world building was what Game Freak and Nintendo needed to accomplish. That is what Pokemon Snap was for. Snap wasn't about fighting Pokemon, it was about simply taking a tour through their world and seeing them as animals living in as natural of environments as the graphics of the Nintendo 64 would allow. Your only direct interaction with the world is through the use of food and pester balls, which gives the gameplay a bit more variety than just choosing camera angles, but also lets you see the individual Pokemon's personalities and lifestyles as you make your way through their homes. And this was the genius of making a game that was essentially just a tour through the Pokemon world. By focusing entirely on making these creatures look like animals, that idea would transmit over in kids' minds to the portable games. Pokemon Stadium had already gotten into children's heads that the monsters they were collecting were more than just a collection of 8-bit sprites, but Pokemon Snap cemented this idea by showing just how playful and alive these creatures could act. The goal of this game is to get higher rated photographs, and the way to do that is by interacting with Pokemon, making them happy, and evolving them, all to get the shots that would show these creatures at their most majestic. Think about that. Everything you do in Pokemon Snap is about working towards making this franchise's mascots looking as cool or cute or as frightening as possible. It's brilliant, both from a game design and marketing perspective. Gold star to you, Nintendo. You know, I was never the biggest fan of Pokemon growing up. As I said, I never had a Game Boy, so I mainly had to enjoy the series through the TV show and Nintendo 64 games. There were just other franchises that held my attention. But through all of my years of being on YouTube, I've never quite seen a series that has as much love and nostalgic memories for it as the Pokemon games. People really do care for these adorable, easily marketable monsters, and I truly believe that a large part of that is due to Pokemon Snap, a game that tried something entirely different. It's the game that locked down these creatures in many fans' hearts as something more than a collection of statistics and sprites, as true friends that could be amused, scared, or as happy as we can be. On its own, Pokemon Snap is an enjoyable, peaceful walk through a fully realized world. But when taken in stride with the other Pokemon games at the time, it's an essential puzzle piece in the creation of a gaming legacy that continues on in our hearts even today. And that, well, that is really freaking clever. Hey guys, this month Really Freaking Clever and the 64 Things Wrong series are sponsored by Geek Fuel. I don't mean like Mountain Dew or gasoline or whatever it is gamers are drinking lately. I mean Geek Fuel, the monthly subscription box that focuses on useful and unique geek gear with over $50 worth of items from your favorite nerdy properties in every box. Look at all the stuff you get in 3 months. Look at it! Geek Fuel is the best box out there and plans start at only $13.90 a month. But if you use the exclusive link down in the description, you can get a $30 bonus pack for free on me just by signing up. Plus, you know, checking them out really helps the YouTube channel, so, you know, click that link. Hey there, if you enjoyed this video, why not hit that like button and then share this video with all your friends. Share it on the Twitter, share it on the Facebook, share it in every single place you can. If you want to keep up with the crazy things that I'm up to, why don't you follow my Twitter as well? It's down in the description box. Plus, you know, the whole subscribe thing. Did I say subscribe? You should also subscribe. Yeah. Like, comment, and subscribe. That's it. That's it. Bye!